Hello, my name is Tim Garrett. I'm from LabStrong. Today we're going to learn how to replace the heating element of a Fi-Streem 2S Still. This is an A74410LS, the 220 volt unit. There are other different voltages. The elements are pretty much the same as how they connect to the glassware inside the boiler and to the connection on the side of the still itself onto the terminal block. But there are different model numbers, so just pay attention to the model number for your specific unit. First thing you want to do is make sure it's disconnected from the power source. Also make sure that you're disconnected from your water source. You're going to remove the door by simply pulling out on the magnet on the bottom, then pulls up on the top, and it's got two little hooks that go into the top cover. Set this aside. So you're going to need that. Take a Phillips head screwdriver, remove the 4 screws at the top. Back of it pops straight up. Then this pulls out. It's got a little bit of a hook on it on the front. And that's your top cover. We're going to need to remove the right hand side panel to get to the electrical portion of it. That just drops down. Your electrical connections are stated right here on this spec plate for your heating element connection. So it's got your heating element here, and your other parts of the heating element goes right here. Now that we have the unit disconnected from the power source and the water shut off to the unit, we have the right side panel off, we're going to remove the element by first disconnecting the heating element from the terminal block. You simply take, if you can't get this removed by hand, you can take a pair of needle nose pliers, grab a hold of the blue plastic portion of the connector, pull back on it, that slides back out, and then this one, do the same thing, that just slides off the terminal connection for your heating element. Now that we have it disconnected from the terminal block, we're going to pull the cable through this grommet, feed that through the grommet, and then we're going to go ahead and remove the union. So we just simply take the bottom, disconnect it from the top union, and you can slide the heating element. Now you can leave the old split ring in the bottom part of the union on the boiler if everything's okay with it. When you get the new element, put this back in there. It won't hurt anything. Otherwise you have to try to get the split ring out of there and then pull this bottom portion of the union out from the boiler section. But you simply pull straight up, make sure you don't bend it at all, and then you'll have the element removed. Now that we have the door, the top cover off, our heating elements are located back here in the boiler itself. They both go back in this location. We're going to install the bottom ring off the element. This is the bottom split ring for the union. And here's your split ring itself. That just goes around top of the boiler. And the heating element slides straight down into the boiler section. And then there is an actual stop on the sheath, so it won't let you go in any further than needed. And then the top is top split ring for the union gets connected to the bottom. Then you just tighten those up, hand tight. No need for any kind of wrenches on this. So once they're tightened up, you position the element so it's straight down into the boiler and it isn't hitting against the side, or it isn't hitting the over temperature protection, which is the copper coil inside the unit. Then once you have that connected, you take your connections here, and route it through one of the 2 grommets on the side. And that'll route it through to the right hand side of the unit. And that's how you install the heating element into the boiler section of the 2S Fi-Streem Still. Now you just take your cable that you routed through the grommet on the right hand side of the unit. This is your heating element connections, blue wire, brown wire. There's your heating element connections right here, these 2, for your left side and right side. So it doesn't matter with the blue or the brown from the cable from your heating element, but one needs to go to this connector straight up from your connection. This is the right side, and then the other goes to the other terminal right here. And they slide on, and that's your heating element connections for the right hand side. The left hand side would connect up to the one just above it. The blue wire on this side, brown wire over here. The other element would connect just to the other side of it. So your left goes right here, your right side goes right here. Okay, now that we have the heating element connected, we're going to go ahead and put the right side panel back on. That's just a slotted hole down on the bottom that slides into there. Then you put your two Phillips head screws in place. Your right side panel is back in place. Now that we have the heating element reinstalled back into the unit, we're going to go ahead and put a top cover back on. And remember, it's got this part in the front, this little bit of a hook that goes in the front. So you slide that into the front first, and then that slides down in the back. Then you just locate the 4 screws at the top. I wouldn't tighten up the front of this until you get the door in place, because when you tighten this up, if you tighten it up in the wrong position, you might not be able to get the door inside. Now that you have the door in place, give yourself a pretty good gap. Now you can tighten down the front. That completes your installation. Thanks for watching. At LabStrong, we are committed to making your lab life easier. For additional assistance, please contact the experts at LabStrong.